How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Ohio State versus Georgia. First round, semifinals, if you will, of the college football playoffs. Let me tell you what. I'm pretty excited about this year's college football playoffs. I don't think, personal opinion, I just don't think there's a predominant or this consensus dominant team. I think these are four teams that each bring something different to the table. And I think any one of them can come out here and win this championship. So I think it's going to be a good little college football playoffs this season. Ohio State and Georgia. A lot of question marks entering this one. More so from the side of Ohio State. Georgia's going to come in here with a team. Both teams really don't have this game-wrecking player on your defensive lines, which it's so important. You see coming to these games, especially when one team falls behind. You got that guy that can just change the situation of the game. We've seen some sparks from a couple guys throughout the year, but we really haven't seen that predominant guy on either side of the football. But, you look at Georgia, I think it's a team that you just say balanced. They're balanced so far across the board. You got a couple tight ends that can beat you. They're running back out of the backfield. Again, they don't have no Marvin Harris. They don't have a Nick Buka that's 1,000 receiving yards this season. But they got a handful of guys that can beat you in all aspects of the game, it's so big in a game like this because they're going to find your weakness. Yeah, it's not this guy, can you stop this guy, you're good. No, you got 3, 4, 5 guys on this Georgia offense that can make some plays on this team. And it's really, again, similar thing we see out of these two teams is they got a three-headed monster on both sides of the football when it comes to running, or on both teams here when it comes to running the football. McIntosh, Milton, Edwards on Georgia, and then obviously Henderson, Hayden, and Williams on Ohio State. So it's like, you ain't got to, again, you can't play to this, hope the health concerns or anything like that. It's just a team, both of them. The running back goes down, they got another guy that can beat you. Two teams that love to run the football and can do it really effectively. But I think the question marks, again, come from Ohio State. You know what you're going to get out of this Georgia team. They're going to lock you down defensively. They play a dominant lockdown style. They always have. That's been the Georgia way these past few seasons. It's the way they played again this season. We did see LSU connect on a couple deep plays. Missed on a third one in the conference championship game. And that's going to be an interesting one to see because that is what this Ohio State offense wants to do, is run and connect on the deep plays. That's the way this offense is pretty much designed if you look at the way they've been playing. And that's where the question marks come from Ohio State. First of all, Jackson Smith-Njigba, if he comes back and he can play, that's going to be an absolute game changer for Ohio State. Chance he comes back healthy. Then you're going to have 2, 3 guys at wide receiver. You have that guy that can work the middle of the field underneath and Njigba. That makes them that much harder to stop. I'm pretty excited to see this Keely, Ringo, Marvin Harrison Jr. matchup. Really, arguably, the two best players at the position coming out of college this season. It's going to be a fun matchup. Ringo's this guy, a super athletic player. He can get up there and make those plays. Great open field tackler. And then you flip the side. Marvin Harrison Jr. is just, again, a freak of an athlete out there that can get up there and catch just about anything. One of the best route runners, one of the best players in college football right now. That size, it's tough to match up with. But what I am watching is Ohio State, and I'm looking directly at Ryan Day. This is a team, now this is a guy that throughout the years, he's really done a great job making adjustments throughout games, throughout the season, and helping his team win football games. And right now, it is loud and clear if you're an Ohio State fan, and it is probably loud and clear if you're the coaching staff of Georgia, that Ohio State does not run the football at the quarterback, and even more shockingly, is they don't throw the football to the running back. Here's a stat you might not be expecting. The leading receiver out of the backfield for Ohio State has 4 catches this season. That is so important because if you're Georgia's defense, Ohio State wants to beat you deep, but that first, that 1-2 seconds come up, you see there ain't a screen pass coming to a wide receiver, you can get some space, or, you're going back. You know where the football is going because CJ Stroud's not going to run. They're not going to dump it off to the running back, which means you can worry less about underneath, worry less about the quarterback, and focus more on not getting beat deep or on them intermediate routes and focusing your coverage, again, on the back half of the football field. A Georgia defense that's as good as that is to just make things that much easier for them by not making them respect those two situations in a play, you're going to have a hard time moving the football against them. The Ohio State Buckeyes And I say Ryan Day because it is just look at the past. Justin Fields, more rushing yards in the NFL this season than he had in his career just about at Ohio State. It is proven that Ryan Day does not like running the football with the quarterback. So I say it is important that Ryan Day drills it into the head of CJ Stroud when there is 10 yards. We're not asking you to kill yourself out there and run the ball and run RPO, but if there is 10 yards of separation between you and the next guy, you have got to take those yards and make them respect the run. Will we see them incorporate more passing plays with the running back? I don't know if we'll see that. Again, it's important because, again, you're multiple dynamics, multiple ways you can beat a defense, but they need to start with that run game. If they don't do it, it just makes things too easy for Georgia. It really does. That is the number one key to this game. I think Ohio State, if Jackson Smith and Jigba comes back, and then you have to worry about Egbuka, you have to worry about Harrison, and if CJ Stroud is a little bit mobile, I think you get a healthy Henderson as well. That's, again, a lot of question marks for Ohio State. You get these guys back healthy. And, again, we're talking about a team that can really move this football up and down the field. And I don't think Georgia has this unstoppable offense that Ohio State can't keep up with. I think it's their defense you're going to be worried about, and it's Ohio State moving the football up and down the field, playing a clean game, because I do think Georgia has more than the abilities to run a football up and down the field against this Buckeyes team. It's what Buckeyes defense do you get? You get the defense that played Michigan in the first half or the second half. And I think, again, it comes back to the offense just has to produce. You get a little confidence in the defense in your offense, or in your offense, and your defense's confidence just goes completely different direction. I think the dynamics of this game change drastically if Njigba plays. I mean, we gotta remember, this is CJ Stroud's favorite target. That's his safety blanket that he's not been playing with all season. If Henderson can come back, that's your explosive playback. The guy that could reel off 70 yards any second. Big difference makers in the football game if you're Ohio State. A team that I think has proven, again, shaky second half against Michigan, but I think you give them a month to recuperate and regroup. I think their defense does play solid. I think they can win this football game if these guys come back healthy. And again, it's so important. Can they make it work without CJ Stroud? I'm sure they can, but the chances of winning are just so much lower when you play an elite team like Georgia. But I think seeing these guys come back, I think just by the way that Michigan game ended, if you're Ryan Day, you're semi on the hot seat. Whether you should or shouldn't be on the hot seat, completely different debate. But I'm sure it's loud and clear around that locker room, around that coaching staff, that people are a little concerned about how much CJ Stroud's not running the football. And I think that changes the game if he starts doing it. I'm going to say Ohio State. A healthy Ohio State. Need them to be healthy here. A healthy Ohio State beats Georgia 23-20. Again, a little bit of a lower scoring game. Some tough defensive battles here. We'll see. 23-20, we're going to say. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.